is a cool Star Wars poster you got behind you, man.
I know, man. Thank you. I was just talking to comicbook.com and we just had a good. I guess I should have been promoting more Infernal Machine, but we ended up having a Star Wars conversation. Is that Roadhouse behind you, the poster?
No, it is a Read Across America David Bowie poster.
Oh wow, sorry, I just saw the R and I thought it was Patrick Swayze, but it's Bowie.
I bet David Bowie wishes he was that jacked. I bet he on some level. But speaking of promoting the Infernal Machine, are you ready to start talking about it?
Of course.
Well, you've got a lot of skin in the game on this project. You're an executive producer. You appear as Dwight Tufford. Like, what was it about this project that made you become so invested in it?
The project was brought to myself and my producing partner for my production company to co-produce, Dark Dreams Entertainment, and I then saw the level of talent that was involved with Guy Pearce, and I had a conversation with Andrew Hunt, the director, and kind of, really, as a huge fan of Guy, wanted to be a part of the movie in any shape or form, and I just was really lucky to be given the opportunity to play in a couple of scenes with Guy.
Where did you find Dwight's voice? Because I was talking to Andrew, and he was saying he originally saw the guy as Southern, and you were like, "No, let's take him a different direction." Like, how did you kind of find that background and voice for him?
It's so interesting because I've obviously done an American accent in 95% of the films that I've done. Mm-hmm. So much so that people in England don't think I'm English anymore. But I could only watch a certain amount of videos on YouTube of people that had committed horrific acts of violence. I really don't enjoy watching those things. Thankfully, a lot of the character was on page, but in the process of my very limited time watching this, or these videos, or these interviews, I saw a pattern between a lot of these individuals that had certain kind of tone to their voice and inflection in the way that they spoke. And then maybe I shouldn't be giving this away, but I will. Strangely enough, in the middle of the night, I have a newborn child. My wife and I were in Berlin. We live half in Berlin. I was speaking to her. She had read the script the day before just to see what I was doing. And I was whispering to her in a very light, high voice. She's like, "Why are you doing a creepy voice to me in the middle of the night after I've read Infernal Machine?" It's really, and I wasn't intentionally doing it. I just was whispering at a higher level. And so I kind of took that as a seed for Dwight's voice and kind of exaggerated on it. I then spoke to Guy. Obviously it's Guy's movie. I always want to collaborate with the people that I'm working with. And obviously it's also Andrew's movie. And both of them approved and kind of thought that it was strange and let me run with it. So I was very, very grateful for that.
What I love about your performance is you're kind of like a party popper in this movie. You're coiled, you're calculating, you're cool, but then you can go off at any moment. You can just erupt. How is it balancing that level of intensity with your performance?
That's really down to Andrew. I, as any actor, obviously go in with a preconceived idea of what I think this character is, and then I kind of play with it. I also, yet again, I'll say, was in the scene with a genius actor who is an idol for me, and kind of he navigates the scene in a very, very curated way, which makes you feel invigorated. So yeah, I gave a lot of different range, and it really is down to Andrew, who, when he sits in the edit room to choose what he wants out of the performance.
What is your creative shorthand with Andrew like? I mean, you have the privilege of the guy directing you also being the writer of this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with writer-directors in my career, and it can be a blessing, but it can also be a huge curse, because they have a set vision of how they see the movie, how they see the lines being delivered. I think unless you're the Coen brothers or an auteur, and they tell you what to do. I know a lot of actors go on those sets and they're kind of not even given line readings, but very often, or Tarantino, who obviously is a genius writer and has a very specific tone throughout his films. But Andrew was very relaxed and very open for change and collaboration, and that's always the best way to work on a movie for me, I think. Yeah, I was very grateful that even though he is the writer and director, he loves to talk about film, he loves to collaborate, and he loves to enhance whatever is on the page or whatever his vision is with the people that he's working with.
You mentioned like admiring Guy Pearce, and I've been watching his work since like LA Confidential, right? Like, in terms of that, the guy working opposite the guy that did Memento, what lessons did you kind of learn from working with him that you can carry on forward with, with your own acting?
I think he's just, and there are people that pretend to be humble and pretend to be nice. Mm-hmm. And he just genuinely has no awareness of who he is and how great he is, which just elevates him in like a capacity that I can't explain. He's just so down to earth, and his process is he's a hard worker. He sees the work as work, and whether he's on camera or off camera, gives 100% because the process for him is the experience of making film. That is what he gets. It's not about what comes after, what comes before, or he genuinely loves the process of making movies. And we forget sometimes it's such a huge privilege to make a film. It's such a feat to get a movie off the ground or even released. And having that experience with him and seeing the appreciation after him doing countless masterpieces of work, from Memento to LA Confidential to I can name a lot, was something that I took away of like, that love for the process.
I think I got time for one more. And this story, I mean, it feels like a story that's ripped straight from the headlines today. It feels more timely and prescient than ever. What did you want to say about this moment in our cultural history with this, and not just that, but also within the realm of the thriller genre with your performance in this movie?
I can't bridge politics or what's going on in the world with the movie because I'm not a politician and I have no voice that will change the unfortunate circumstances that are going on around the world. All I can say is that as a man that's very empathetic, I have no sympathy for the character that I played. I just enjoyed the process of working with someone like Guy and making a movie like this that obviously challenges the subconscious while you're making a film, and that's all I care about. At the end of the day, I'm an artist and my voice is in the work. It's not outside. So, yeah, that's. I hope that somewhat answers your question.
Totally. Yeah, and it's a hell of a picture, you guys. I mean, it really is like that interrogation scene, without going into too much detail, is that should be on your CV. It's fantastic.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that.
And I think
thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Hopefully speak to you another time soon.
Yeah, I'll be around. I'll get another Bowie poster or something.
Done.
Maybe I'll get Roadhouse this time. Maybe I'll get some Swayze in there.
Because well, by the time we probably speak again, Conor McGregor is the new.
Oh yeah. Is he Dog?
I don't know who he's playing because it's him and Jake Gyllenhaal. So I don't know. By the way, where are you doing the interview from?
I'm located right outside of Washington, D.C. I'm like on the Virginia side of the Potomac.
Oh, lovely. I love
Yeah.
Washington.
It's beautiful. It's finally, the heat is finally broken. I can't speak for LA, but the heat is finally broken here.
Oh,
So
fair enough.
thank God. Well, have a good one, dude.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Ciao.